You don't have to, because my phone doesn't suck.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes.
Oh. Well, my phone doesn't suck.
Yes. Okay, we're wasting video. My battery's
Okay,
at
you're
60%.
pushing me. Well, I'll bring.
Well, good morning, guys. So, I should say, people, girls, whoever's watching. So it's Sunday morning, and I need to mow and spray. When we were at the show last weekend, we got behind, and it rained and rained and rained. Not a lot of rain, just enough to keep it wet. So, anyway, so today's Sunday. Today's breeding protocol day. So, just to show you how not complete I am with my life right now. The show box is still in the trailer. That's where the hoof boss is. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the file out. I'm gonna clean up I've got 6 of those 8-tooth blades for the hoof boss. I'm gonna clean all those up, and that way they're nice and sharp. We're gonna try to work the herd. Slow morning getting outside, because I'm never excited to work the whole herd, because it's you'll see, it's full breeding protocol. It's going to be shots, and I don't know if it'll be shots for everybody yet, or if we'll rework some of them will get sorted. Red, quiet. But anyway, at least some of them are going to get their shots, and everybody's going to get hooves trimmed, and they'll get broke into possibly 3 groups. So stay tuned and watch the chaos.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back. This is Shayna Meyer with Lucky and Boer Goats, and today we are going to be prepping our does for breeding season. We have decided to try using 3 different groups this year. We will have one hopefully kid in November, one in December, and then one in January. And so we've already sorted out our first group. We're going to do 7 in each group, and so today we're going to work 7 and then the bucks. And then in a couple weeks we'll work another 7 and so on and so forth. But I'm just going to walk you through what I'll be doing for each of my does. Do you need something? Anyway, all right, so first of all, what we're going to do, this is something, and actually I may break this into its own video because I don't think a lot of people do it or know about it. I paint tails, and what this here is Triodine 7, and I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, it's 7%, it's 7% iodine. So it's higher than like your normal gentle iodine. And what I do is I'll dip the paintbrush in the iodine, and then, here, I'll kind of spin around here if I can. Okay, so what I have here is a little bit of iodine. This isn't how I normally do it, but my paintbrush won't fit. I get the paintbrush good and coated, and then what I do, I guess I didn't do that. I lift her tail head up and I just paint. And I paint all the available skin.
As you can tell, they really don't like to have their butt painted.
And so the purpose of this is you are simultaneously testing and treating iodine deficiency. And by testing, I mean when I paint it, I give it about 24 hours, and if all of that iodine is gone, if it's just straight gone off the skin, the body's absorbed it. That means that she needs iodine, and so then I'll paint her again. If that doesn't get absorbed, then that means I've met her deficiency. I don't believe any of them should be deficient because we've been keeping an iodized block of salt out. It's a blue block. It's a cobalt block that's also iodized.
The iodine level in a cobalt block is higher than a straight iodine block.
And so I paint her butt. I'll check them all tomorrow, give them about 24 hours. I'm going to assume all of their butts will still look painted. If they're not, we'll hit them again, paint their butts again with iodine. But the purpose of this, actually, we were alerted to this a couple years ago when we weaned kids, and 2 kids off of 1 doe, a few days after they were weaned, got huge goiters. And so we painted their tails, the goiters went away, and we painted her tail just to see, and it almost absorbed on contact. She was so iodine deficient. And the problem with iodine deficiency is there is no symptom other than a goiter forming. And it has something to do with the lymph nodes. I can't remember exactly, but you want to stay ahead of it, especially going into their pregnancies, because if the babies are iodine deficient, it can cause the mom to terminate the pregnancy. They can be born with goiters. They can already be born dead with goiters. And so this is just a way to get ahead of it to find out if you have a problem, then to prevent it from becoming a problem later in their gestation. So that's what we do to both check and prevent/treat iodine deficiency. Okay, so everything else I'll just try and breeze through. I won't walk you through step by step. But so I have my treatment log, and so what I'll do here, I haven't done it yet. I just made this. It's nothing fancy, but it goes through today's date, her name, her FMACHA, so that's when you pop the lower eyelid and you check for anemia. You have a very large bug. There you go. If she needs wormer, then I'll write down what wormers I've used. She'll get B complex today. She won't get red cell. She'll get a shot of Bosi, a copper bolus, and I'll write down how many. She will not be treated for mites, but I will pour her for lice. It's not uncommon in the spring to need lice treatment. And then she'll get her hooves done, and then I'll write down anything else pertinent that we find on her that we need to remember for later. But so we have that, and then they will be getting their booster of CDT. This is the toxoid, so this is what you give annually to prevent overeating disease and tetanus infections. And then these 2, I should be wearing gloves when I handle these, but I am not pregnant and I'm not trying to get pregnant, and so I am at this very moment not concerned about handling these. But women, these are the 2 vaccines that I use annually to prevent abortions and abortion storms in your goats.
There we go.
In my goats, I've had one vet tell me, because these are actually sheep vaccines, so I would ask your vet their opinion on these. This would be off-label use for goats. This is what I use for my goats. The only abortion we've ever had on the whole farm in the entire time we've ever had goats is we watched one doe nail another doe into the fence in her side, and she aborted about a week later. And so that was not an abortion storm. That was not from bacteria. That was from just one goat hitting another. And so these 2 are what I use. You follow them as per the directions on the bottles. So that's what we'll do for them. They are to stay chilled. It's really hot out today. That's why I have them in a little ice chest with CDT. So we're going to use those 2. Any type of little skin issues, sometimes you'll just find some random little sore. Maybe they got a boo-boo or something. I'll put New Stock or MTG Plus. I know there is one doe that'll be working through here, and the bucks that will really lather because they're still battling mites. We're finally getting hot out, and so hopefully we're at the end of having to deal with mites. We just need to get them caught up, and so that's what we'll use for skin issues and to treat for mites. The 2 wormers that I'll be using today are Zymectrin Gold. It has ivermectin and praziquantel in it. And then I will also be using Safeguard. Now, most people are going to tell you Safeguard is worthless. To an extent, I do agree, but it is still working in our herd, and so I'm going to keep using it until the bitter end, because this is the weakest wormer that you can use, and I don't want to build wormer resistance in my herd. So I'm going to keep using it until it doesn't work anymore, and then we'll move up as we need. But Safeguard, this I'll dose at 1 cc per 10 pounds because it's so weak. And then this, you'll give it 3 times the animal weight, because this is actually a horse wormer. And so if I have a 100-pound goat, I'll give them 300 pounds worth of Zymextrin Gold.
Seems odd, but it's due to their metabolism.
And then, so next I will be giving shots of Bosi. This is selenium and vitamin E. Vitamin E, if I remember right, in this solution is basically used as the carrier. And so I will give them, each of them, regardless of their weight, I'm only going to give them 1 cc subcutaneously of Bosi to get them caught up on selenium deficiency. So this one may be a little controversial depending on your viewpoint. This is a copper bolus. This is like my own little parfait that I create for them, that I give to them orally. And it is literally, the bottom is yogurt out of like a tube of Go-Gurt. Yogurt, copper bolus rods, and then more yogurt packed in, and then I'll give this orally. Now, the reason that I choose to copper them via this method and not with, what is that? It's a solution.
Multimin?
Multimin. The reason I don't use Multimin is because this has been scientifically proven to actually, for lack of a better way of saying it, fend off, if you will, barber pole worm. It's a good preventative, I don't know if treatment's the right word, but we've never had an issue with barber pole worm. I copper bolus every 3 months. It keeps their coats looking healthy, it keeps them healthy, it keeps them reproductively sound. So I copper bolus. I give 4 grams per, basically all adult goats here I've weighed out between 7 and 8 grams, and so they'll get about 7 to 8 grams of copper. Now I know this to be a good amount for my goats because I know what I've given my goats, and so I'm comfortable with this. If you are not familiar with your goats, if they're new to you, I would start out slow, because copper poisoning, along with Bosi, selenium, they can have a toxic reaction to overdosing, and so you always want to start out slow with Bosi and with copper. But the method in which that it's given, that's why I don't like Multimin, because it's more easy to overdose a goat, because the copper oxide particles embed in the rumen where the copper's, I think it's copper sulfate, in a Multimin, if given too much, can enter the bloodstream and kill them, can cause a bad reaction. So I prefer copper boluses, to each their own. I know it works for me, so we're going to keep using these. I'm also going to give them each a shot, 1 cc per 20 pounds of vitamin B complex. This is water soluble. To my knowledge, it's almost impossible to overdose a goat on this, because whatever they don't use, they will excrete via their urine. So I'll give 1 cc per 20 pounds subcutaneously, just to give them, so this has thiamine in it, vitamin B1, yeah, B1, and this, that's what prevents polio, keeps a rumen functioning correctly, the B complex vitamin. So that's what I'm going to give them today, just kind of a little booster to make sure everything in their tummy is cooking correctly. And then lastly, to any of our, we have a handful, just a couple yet, that are having mite issues, we'll start 3-week injections of ivermectin. I've actually started giving it subcutaneously and orally, because we have a few animals that the mites will just not let up, and so that's what we're going to try, or we're going to start today. So I'll give 1 injection and 1 oral dose today, and then another one in a week from now, and then the last one 2 weeks from now. And then we'll treat them topically with MTG Plus and New Stock. And then Brandon will trim their hooves, and we'll check their famachas, and yeah. This is something, so we have done it this way for the last couple years. It's always worked really well for us. We have 100% conception rates. We usually kid out twins and triplets. We had a set of quads this year. We only, out of all of our does, we only had 1 have a single, and so I feel really confident in what we do to our animals and how we keep them healthy, and yeah, and so also we still need to make a nutrition nutrition video, but one of the things that we will be doing with each group is about 2 to 3 weeks before the bucks go in with them, will significantly increase their feed ration. And so right now they're only getting, is it a half pound a day?
No.
A pound a day.
Well, the buck, okay, so the herd is getting around a pound a day. The bucks are getting like 4.
Yeah. But so the does, they're getting about a pound a day, so we will double that, and the first group to breed here, once we kick them back out, they'll be getting a pound in the morning each and a pound at night. That is, I refer to it as flushing. This is like nutritional flushing, and so the purpose behind that is to cause them to super ovulate, basically, because you've increased their plane of nutrition, and so now it can tell their bodies that they're in a good environment, a healthy environment to ovulate multiple eggs. And so that's the hope. It's worked in years past. This will probably be the 1 year now that I'm recording all of it that it doesn't work, but that's usually what we do and it works really well. But anyway, that's what we will be doing. So with that, we will go ahead and get started.
I don't know what you're messing with for that stop. Yeah, don't block the camera.
Yeah, she got hurt.
Yeah. I know, baby. I know.
Does that help build feeders? Is it on the fur?
Okay, guys. So if you could see that on that back right hoof, Tori's got a hitch in her gait. When we bought her, that was something we definitely didn't know existed until we got her home. I've been trying to work on her hooves over time to get them cleaned out. She gets some of those little red, I don't know if you want to call them like a sore or a hot spot in her, whatever. It's like extra blood brought to the surface. But if you could see, I got her knocked down, and before I got to the pink, all of a sudden we had a little bit of blood flow. So I don't know if this is the right stuff, but I just get some copper tox, you know, water resistant protecting, usually in the horse aisle. Whether or not that's the right stuff to use, generally, in a case like this, you can see we're dry outside of where they pee here on the chute. They're not wet right now. When it's dry, usually if there's a little bit of blood, I'm not too worried, but since she's bleeding pretty good, I decided to hit that. So I guess I'll leave that up to you to decide what you want to do. I guess that's worked for us, or at least in theory, we think it works. At least we've got a protective coating on that open cut and that hoof.
Well, we got everybody taken care of, and they are just eating right now. And so yeah, these girls, I will split them up and the boys will go in with them here in about 3 weeks, I believe. And yeah, they look good. Hopefully we get some pretty babies from this group. I almost forgot to give a special shout out. I don't know, I've never done one before. To Bison Lane Boers as requested. I keep forgetting, so I'm going to finally get it in there. So thank you for watching. And actually, I don't know if we've ever said it, but thank all of you for watching us. And, you know, hopefully you are gleaning some information from what we've done and what we do and some of the mistakes we've made and improvements that we make and all that good stuff. So thank you to all of our viewers. But a special shout out as per requested to Bison Lane Boers. But with that, we will catch you in our next video.